Hello, and welcome back to the Currency Podcast. Glad to have you on. The time is now, and the time is it's 1:45 in Pacific time. One of my favorite times, a time that I love, and that who doesn't love that time? Everybody doesn't. I'm a meager man. I'm just one guy, so that's how it works. Just just a simple man. Simple, and that's my band name, is Simple Man. I hope you don't mind. Don't quote me on that. And, fuck you, that's my band. Actually, no. I have an artist name. It's Plane Crash, and my music slaughters. It doesn't just kill or murder, it eviscerates. I just wish that I made more of it. But you know what else eviscerates is like a wood chipper or whatever, like Salman Rushdie. That's a name that kills. It's a really good name. I don't know who that is, but let me get into the serious topics of today. The serious topics are that when you say that you're bad and that society doesn't like bad, and they are like pathetically afraid of it, because if you are somebody who's like, I'm bad, that's really cringe. Or if you get angry, that's cringe. Or it's just like, oh, that sucks. For you as a person. Because the world is like, we don't want no bad attitudes or whatever. And, like, if people lose their mind if you have a bad attitude. They can't handle it. Like, the world is not equipped to handle bad, so then they gotta stamp it out whenever. They gotta try to make it good. And it's kind of like it's like when Peter Thiel is talking about the Antichrist, and people are like, you don't even. They thought that he was the Antichrist just because he was talking about it. Just because he was like virtue, he was vice signaling. I mean, he wasn't vice signaling. He was just talking about something negative. And then people were like, want to associate him with that. And what I'm saying is that I might be talking about bad, but people will think that that means I'm trying to be that. But like, people have a known tendency to just like, oh, if something bad has happened, like whatever, the person that's like, I'm the villain. That's the last thing that you can say. That's the thing that everybody agrees makes you the villain. Like, everybody hates that because it's just cringe, or like, oh, you're such an idiot. It's because the world is so pathetic at dealing. It's because they're afraid of bad. Like, that's how lame the world is. It's because they're scared of it. They're scared of the villain. So if somebody says, I'm the villain, they will make fun of it. They'll be like, oh, that's cringe. And then they'll use cringe as like, that's the reason why they're on the winning side of the argument, because they identified that it was bad when the person was already saying that they were bad. You know what I mean? Long story short, there is no long story short. There ain't no summary. Not in the world, not in real life. Summary is cap. And I started and then I stopped. I don't remember if the recording had me talking. I kept on what I was talking about with cap, but summary is cap. I mean recap, because it's a contained thing. The thing that was originally there is more unlimited. When people say no cap, they mean that's unlimited. You have an unlimited nature about you. You have a continuous way of being. You continue. That's what they mean by no cap, is like you're genuine, or like it's real. Something that's real is not contained, because if it's contained we can define it. and it's got a cap, like a capacity. It's got a ceiling, and it's finite. So what people want with no cap, they're like, they credit no cap. That's positive. People positively reinforce it. Or they're like, yeah, no cap because it's a positive. Is they are saying putting respect on your name because of your unlimited, because you're being unlimited. You're being undefinable. It's the same thing that makes you a winner or whatever. But like what I'm saying is that if you have a bad attitude, people freak out. It's not everybody, obviously. Just a lot of people, like a lot of the people that are on X, they have, or just online, just on social media, everybody knows that you get points from society when you say good is good, and you attack something that's bad as bad. Where it's like Sergio Garcia in the Masters was like, Sergio Garcia hit a bad shot, and then he got really angry and started slamming his driver into the ground to the point that he broke the driver head off his driver. And people are sharing that clip on X everywhere and just roasting him like, oh, you child, or whatever, like you suck so much for getting angry one time, Sergio Garcia, or whatever. And that's the way that people are. It's like they see a bad attitude, they start losing their minds, where it's like, who doesn't get angry momentarily? And besides that, way more importantly than that, is what does it matter if somebody gets angry momentarily or is angry a lot? Besides that, everybody has this agenda to police each other to be good because they're terrified of bad, as pathetic as that is, where it's like, somebody would be like, I'm bad, and then people get offended. Or they're like, no, you're not bad. They'll tell them that they're bad. Or like, no, you suck in life for saying that you're bad because you're actually good, or whatever. And let me say this, and I was thinking about all of this exact thing before I went out and did stand-up comedy the other night, and received some criticism directly on this topic. And it was interesting. Let me tell you this story, and the stories, whatever it is. Stories are really great. They're a lot better. It's like the story part of it, the shit that you remember after the fact, does not compare to what happened, because what happened didn't have all of this intentionality behind it. And then when you recall anything later, it becomes more scripted, and it's like, oh, that's crap. But the world is, there's all intentions come into play, or whatever. Like, okay. The other night I was doing stand-up, and I did my set. I have this joke where I'm like, I saw the Bad Bunny halftime show, and like I was getting Mexico. You know, that's sort of what I gathered from it. It was like, oh, okay, Mexico. It's kind of what I grew to understand from that performance. It was like, it seemed to be giving Mexico. And I was just like, I'm saying all this about Bad Bunny, like he's like not all that great of Bunny, or not necessarily all that wholesome of a Bunny that we're dealing with here. Bunny or whatever. And the host went up after me and he was like, you know what I didn't like about the Bad Bunny halftime show? He was like, that he didn't pull it out. And whatever he said, he's like, he didn't pull it out. Like, he should have been more bad or whatever. And he's making fun of my comedy performance. He's saying like, I didn't pull it out at this like open mic with no audience. It's like, oh, you needed to take the time out of your hosting duties to say that I sucked today. So, oh yeah, I sucked and I wasn't bad enough. I'm bad. I'm good, but like, he's incorrect because you're saying that I'm bad. Also, I'm the only person that he was negative towards the entire night, which happens to me frequently enough. But That's beside the point. It's like I'm the only one that he's like, you know what, your performance sucked. Nobody else got that after their thing because we're like, oh, we're here to have fun. It's like, and that's what I'm here to do as well. I was just here to have fun. I wasn't making the statement like I'm bad just because I said the word bad a lot. And but to the extent that I'm making the statement like I'm bad, like I suck, and that I'm horrible, but not in a self-deprecating way. Because that's the other thing about bad is that when you say it, or it's like you say like, oh, I'm bad for you, talking about yourself, or like you're depressed, or like make fun of yourself, people will be like, oh, you're making fun of yourself, or like that's a problem, or like that's a temporary thing. People are so afraid of bad that when you bring it up and it's like you bring it up and people want it to go away, or they're like, oh, that was just a mood that you were in, or it's like that needs to be fixed, or whatever. Why do you feel bad? That's like a sickness that you need to fix as a mental illness. Foregoing the truth that people are bad all the time. It's like a disability. Like they suck. People suck all the time. They're horrible all the time, every day, and it's not a sad thing. It's just a reality. But the unfortunate part of it is the world is not set up for the bad. So it's like a disability in that way, but an unrecognized one. Males with blonde hair, for example, they're bad. I don't care what you think about it. It's like, and it's not like I don't have to meet any criteria to be bad or whatever. I mean, you kind of do, but like I don't, because it's just like, oh, you're bad or you suck. Like Harry Potter had it right where they like Malfoy is the guy that sucks because he has blonde hair. And that's the way that it is in the world, that like, because people really love Jesus and that's your standard for like what a good guy is. It's just a guy. Like males, you're supposed to have brown hair. You're supposed to do that. That's the standard. I mean, I think that that's like majority, it's popular, but like that's the same thing as Christianity. Because that's the most popular religion. It's the same thing. If you have blonde hair, that's a minority, and people always they villainize them, where they're like, they act like that's the group of people that people put on a pedestal in a positive way, where they're like, bring up Hitler and like the Aryan race, where it's like, actually, it's always the case that we hate Hitler's emphasis on blonde people. We say that that's the worst thing ever, is like the idea that a blonde person, and but I mean, obviously Hitler was terrible and like he shouldn't have been doing any of that Aryan race stuff, and like blonde people are horrible. That's what I'm saying. I agree with people where they're like, whatever Hitler was trying to do, of course Hitler is horrible for saying blonde people are great, because blonde people are horrible, and that's just the way. That's not like, I'm not making a statement like, oh, woe is me. It's like, we need to stop discriminating against them. That's just reality. It has to do with that Jesus has brown hair and he's like the perfect dude. You're supposed to have brown hair. So like, if you have blonde hair, you're just bad, kind of like, not in a good way. It's just like, that's more hateable, and not in a way where we're gonna like recognize the disability of that. Like we might with people with red hair. People with blonde hair, which is like, we don't like them, but we're not gonna like point it out or like get any momentum going in the opposite direction. Like, hey, stop saying that about, or like whatever. Like, you're not gonna galvanize any support about like blonde people are disliked. I'm just saying like that's the natural way, but and it's good. It's good that life is like that. But anyway, so that guy was like, I'm the only one that he was calling bad, like your performance sucked the entire night. And while doing so, he was saying you're not bad enough. It's like, well, you don't get to have it both ways. Either I was bad or I wasn't. Not to say anything bad about that guy. I do kind of I do feel, not to say anything bad, but I mean, I didn't really have that much of a problem with it. It kind of draws me into the comedy scene a little more, that he would single me out or whatever, but I do prefer special treatment that is positive, not the special treatment that is negative. People act like special treatment is like it doesn't have a positive and a negative side or whatever. I mean, I hate special treatment. I hate being like, oh, I'm the one that you pointed out was bad. I don't like it. I mean, I don't like it if it's good, really, but if you're gonna do it, I prefer it was good. I prefer it was positive. Special treatment is what would get me into people saying, I mean, that's what would get me into trouble, if anything. So, like, the reason that I moved out here is because I said in the last episode, like, oh, I just did a bunch of drugs and that made it okay for me to, like, I shouldn't say that. I should say that the reason I moved out here at this point in my life is because I got a remote job. And I didn't have anything like that. I never had a thing like that before that is like a remote job, fully remote, and I could get paid enough to live in California. And I actually didn't make a lot of money the month before I left, and I was like, it's on the verge of like, I wonder if they're going to fire me from this remote job, but I moved anyway as a testament to, and that's a testament to whatever, to my belief in myself. So you can't say like you're the villain. You can't say, so I gotta tell people like I'm the Antichrist more just to see how they respond. Just because like that's the worst thing, but people would still be like, I get that people would be like, that doesn't make you bad. Would I be trying to be like, oh, like prove that I'm bad by saying that? Maybe in some senses, but it wouldn't be, I mean, that's the exact thing I'm talking about, is that like, people, there's too much a standard for it's like, oh, if you're bad, you better actually be it. Like, nobody actually gets to be that. It doesn't get to exist. People, if it's like, it's only ever temporary, or it's like, you need to get that fixed in your life. Like, nobody's allowed to suck every day. When there are so many people that are in that category, where they're like, that's a person that sucks, or is like, all the time. No, nobody. You're supposed to like you're supposed to be getting better. It's like, I'm gonna fix this area in my life, the bad, or whatever it is. There's a lot of people on Twitter that will just like attack it like fish or whatever. That just like mindlessly, the second they see something that's not good, they know that society doesn't like that, and they're like, think that they're really intelligent for being able to identify something bad. So they're like, have no problem just shouting out like, oh, Sergio Garcia, you're not allowed to be angry. That's terrible. That's cringe, or whatever. Like, people should be angrier than they are. It's just, where did we get that in society where it's like, you're like, if you're getting angry, like everyone's like, whoa, we're all better than you. You know, if somebody's angry in public, it's like, it's just because of fear. And that's what people be like, if you're angry, people be like, you're just afraid. They're angry. You don't know what that's coming from. Could just be they're like happy. Could just be that they're gay. You're too gay. I mean, people get pissed about happiness as well. If you're too happy, that's like I mean, what isn't cringe in this society? But I'd like to talk about how gay criticism is. Criticism is not really for everyone. It's not for me. I don't really go out of my way to do it. Just because I think it's stylistically bad. I'm not against it in a like political way, or it's like, we need to be progressive and not make fun of each other. I don't give a fuck about any of that. Because people can make fun of whoever. I just am not really interested in it, and I never have been. Because, I mean, I think it's kind of gay. I mean, it is gay, just not in, like, men fucking other men. Just not in that sense. It's gay, like, it's gay what we've done to the word gay. And, as I've spoken about a couple of times, but I enjoy speaking about this because you're not, like, it's almost like a swear word just to say gay or, like, call somebody gay or, but one gay thing that happened was, like, whatever, the 50s, when we switched the definition of gay where it meant happy, and, like, we were in relationship to that word as happy for so long, and then all of a sudden this warp, this transition, like a transgender, this transition happened very quickly with gay. This gay thing happened to it, where we're like, this perverted thing happened. We're like, we're going to totally, like, subvert the definition of that to be like, that's men fucking other men. And, like, just how quickly that happened is what is kind of supernatural about it. Because other words will change in meaning. Like the word nut is a word for, like, the top thing, like a nut hand in poker. The nut hand is like the highest possible hand that a person could have given the cards on the table. It's like they might or something like that. Like, basically the optimal hand that you could have in that moment is, like, the nut hand. And it comes from, like, nut used to mean the top thing, and people don't ever explain it to mean that anymore. They're just like, that just means that you're nuts. So that's, like, a word that has changed in meaning, where it's like, oh, but it's kind of like that unlimited thing. Really, being nuts is like being crazy, being outside of people's definitions. So if you're being outside of the boundaries, is like the ability to be crazy. That your ability to be crazy puts you outside of rules that other people would have for you, and it's kind of like undefinability or winning. And I'm talking about the Buckeyes, like the nuts. That's what I think about with it. It's like, I had no idea until a couple of days ago that nut meant the top thing. And not just for a nut hand in poker. That used to be an expression for, like, the best. And that's weird that it's hidden that way. That people don't realize that that's what that used to mean. The Buckeyes are nuts. And, like, their football team wins all the time. I don't know. I don't know what I mean to say by that. I'm just trying to, like, expose this definition so people realize what is going on here. Like, that connection to that word that American society decided meant, like, really winning, and, like, the Buckeyes win a lot in football. That people should be aware so that they know what they're up against a little bit more. Now Ohio State will lose more games. No, I don't think so. I'm not, like, actively against them. I'm just bringing up a point, but, like, shit, what was I going into? I was talking about how words change in meaning. And, like, the word nice for centuries was a bad thing. But in the recent, like, most recent 150 years, nice transition to be like, we used to only view that as a negative, now we only view it as a positive. Words change this way. The way that gay changed is completely... There's no example like that in the history of words that I know of, that I could find. If you know of one, comment it, but there's a good chance that it doesn't meet all the criteria of whatever gay did when we assigned it a brand new meaning all of a sudden. And so there's something disingenuous about, like, now we need to assign this a new meaning all of a sudden. And whatever, it's like gay, what we did to it, but it's a very critical thing. Very critical thing that we did to a word that was just kind of like this positive thing, meaning happiness and curiosity. Now we're like, now that means that you're like, a person that we don't like because you do the wrong things, basically. Sorry if that sounds homophobic, but that's the way that society treats it, especially currently in a more conservative run political climate where people are like, actually, it's wrong. Actually, that's wrong to do that. But it's because we have this standard. It's because of society. There's this standard way that sexuality is supposed to play out as monogamous, and it's totally ridiculous, and it's as a result of religions that have tons of people that are able to control the narrative on things. And that's what makes them dangerous, even though they have diminished in power over the last couple of millennia. They're like slowly diminishing in power. Like all of the popular art that people used to make was just like religious art, and it was about like Jesus and Mary and shit like that for centuries. Like all the best art was just completely religious. And then it became like modern and postmodern where people just started like drawing dots and whatever, like streaks. They're like, this is art. And like that transition off of this standard of like religious art is that's a picture for you what's going to happen for everything in life. Like eventually Christianity won't be popular. It won't be who knows how long, but the God of Israel is the guy that everybody worships as like, that's the monotheist, like all the monotheistic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, they attribute God to be like the God of Israel, basically. And well, I guess I don't exactly know what Islam does with God, that's the same thing as the God of Israel. But I mean, use Christianity, the most popular religion, and Judaism. I feel bad for people like you would rather be in a position where other people were good, where like other people were definable, like where you could if you're in a position to condescend to people, that's bad. Like feeling bad, feeling sorry is condescending. That means that other people are cap and you are not, because you're outside of them to define them as objects. But like that's a more bad position. Bad goes further into uncertainty. It's not contained by the rules. It's not contained. Bad is less and less contained. So it's like it's a pretty high value to be bad, actually. And I would be lying if I said that I didn't want to be that. Then now that I think about it, it's like, no, I want to be that. But it's good that guy said that at that comedy event, because it's like, yeah, he's wrong because I was being bad, like the act wasn't that great or whatever, but I should be worse. But telling people you're the Antichrist, that wouldn't be like where people would be like, oh, that makes you bad, because they don't. Unless you're from the Christian church, you wouldn't. I mean, I don't really know. It's a joke in reality, the Antichrist. But for like Christian people that take it really seriously, it's like a very serious thing, which is just nuts. That you can like that this position is open. It's nuts that I don't try more to go after it, since it's my idea to be it. I mean, I am it. It's like, and that's a reality. But like, that's not something I'm bragging, or it's like, this is the number one podcast in the world. It's not one of those. It's like, well, unless somebody else says they are, then that's me until we find the real guy. And that's what my reality is, because I couldn't fathom thinking outside of it, because it's impossible to prove that you wouldn't be. There's no the Christian church left this door open too much, where they don't have rules surrounding it, or it's like they don't have rules. You can't just say that you are. So there's nothing I can do about that. It's like, well, then I'm it until somebody proves that I'm not, or until somebody else is. Until they decide somebody else is, like, I will be it. I don't hear anybody else saying they are. So I'm sorry. And unfortunately, that doesn't even make me crazy, because that's a reality to like millions and millions of people that take that thing very seriously. He's like one of the top 3 to 5 most important people in the most important book of all time, and it's a person that has not been nobody's taken that form yet. It's a person that is yet to exist, a person that's going to exist in the future, according to the most popular book ever. So it's like, how does nobody want to take advantage of that? I don't really understand. I mean, I do understand. It's like, oh no, the stigma, or it's like you'll be cursed, or like God will kill you, God will strike you down. But part of the game is like, how long will I walk around on the earth without God killing me, with me just like telling everybody I'm the Antichrist? And so I don't, it's whatever. Obviously, I hope that Mexican gangs don't kill me if like that became something that was known about me. Mexicans might murder me, but I wanted to say that I'm like pro gang also. Also, I think gangs are kind of gay, because they are like they're like too emotional. It's more like or like you would. I mean, it's so like a boys' club that it's like. It's kind of like, I mean, it's like a religion, but I guess there's this thing in LA called Homeboy something, like Ministries or Homeboy something, for gang members to go there and like transform their life, like turn their life around and be a good person. And everybody, all the gangs in LA know about the Homeboy headquarters, and it's like created by this Catholic guy, but the Catholic guy that created it, you watch him in interviews, he's like dead set on this idea of what a gang member is, where he's like, no gang member ever gets into it for this and this and this. They do it for this. But long story short, the Catholic guy that created that is a bitch, and like I'm totally against Homeboy Industries or whatever. Like, that's bullshit. No gang member should go that. It's just like this thing to convert you to therapy and make you convinced that you have problems that define you. Just the same thing as like psychiatry or whatever. You will be more interesting and have more of a story and have a better life if you keep being a gang member. I'm pro gangs, and I'm the only podcast in LA that's pro-gang. And I just wanted to mention that. I'm on your side. Don't go to Homeboy, whatever. I want to start a gang called like the Black Cars Gang, where it's because I have a black car. That would be a fun way to troll gangs. And I already started. I'm starting it, but it's like anybody who has a black car, we're in the Black Cars Gang, and that's our gang. And we can like roll up on people and do that. We can be majorly intimidating in the way we roll up on people. I mean, you don't have to be intimidating. You don't have to be bad. I don't think you have to be bad. Like, you don't have to be overtly bad to be it. It's just like people have there's such a witch hunt out for it. It's like, oh, you better be that if you are. It's like, just let the people that are be that. You don't have to like hold them to this standard like, oh, you're not, if you didn't display it all the time. But I want to say like criticism is gay because of like how gay it is. Like that same thing as like the origin of us assigning these bad ideas or whatever. It's like, now gay means this thing that society deems to make you a pariah. It's very closely linked to criticism. Is like the modern definition of meaning of gay is basically like criticism, like when you use it to mean bad. Like that Hillary Duff commercial where she's like, those two girls are picking out their clothes, and the one girl is like, I mean, you know the commercial I'm talking about because it is an unresolved problem in the consciousness of the nation. The nation can't resolve this because the morality of it was so weird that we don't know we can't be like, oh, that's like, it sticks in your mind. I think it's memorable because who's going to work out the morality? It's like a parable of Jesus or something, you know, same as those parables Jesus had, where it's like, oh, nobody knows exactly what that means. So it sticks around forever and ever. The shit that sticks around forever is like undefinable. It's like a riddle that, I mean, it's like, it's wrong and you're supposed to make it right. Once you make it right, you set it free and then it's gone. Like if you love something, let it go. Nobody's able to love the things that are wrong and that stick around and that are undefinable. If you remain undefinable, you remain unloved. Just in general, love is an idea for containment, for accepting people. When you accept somebody, you're containing them. This is why love is like a value of entrapment, and really should be seen as a negative. It is a negative, like it's a negative objectively, but for some reason it's like only ever seen as a positive. And same as I'm saying with bad, like it's not that bad to be bad, it's just a reality. It's like it's not that bad that love is a negative quality. Actually, that's the thing that we say is really good, but you just gotta watch out for love. Like, don't get loved, you know what I mean? You can do it in marriage or whatever, like that. I mean, just don't get contained by society. Like, don't get loved by society. Don't be criticized by other people, because that's what people are trying to do when they are haters, when they're criticizers. They're trying to show you love, basically. Love to the point that they're trying to destroy you, but like they want you on their mantelpiece. They want to catch that fish or whatever. They want, like, haters, whatever, criticizers are trying to entrap you. They're trying to show you love so that you're not out here being a problem, being undefinable. I mean, people are making arguments to try to define you, like, oh, you mean this, and it's all a bunch of ridiculous kind of like bullshit. The reason that I'm saying that I don't like criticism, I don't find it interesting, is to set myself apart from so many other people in the world think that that's such a major part of it. It's such a major part of life or communication. It's like criticism or whatever's like on social media, especially on X or just on TikTok or any, like, where YouTube comments or comments on TikTok, they're going to roast you just as much as they would on X. It's just that it's like so much it's a big part of online communication, criticism. And I'm saying, like, it doesn't need to be a part of it. It's not interesting. Criticism, like roasting people. Tony Hinchcliffe, that is all very interesting, but it's interesting because of the human element of, like, the people trying to succeed. The roasting part of it, like, that's what I'm saying. The roasting part of Kill Tony, I don't care about. I find most of that to be kind of gay. It's like the roasting. It's like where somebody has like a punchline that's just a pun about the person, or like, you look like you're wearing, and it's always like what somebody's wearing, you know. So it's the appearance, and like the roasting is not why I like Kill Tony. I don't think like, oh, that's so badass, the roast. But it's like the Hillary Duff commercial where she's like, the one girl is like, oh, am I gonna get this shirt? And she's like, no, it's gay. And then the other girl's like, is it? And then that girl's like, the first girl's like, yeah, it's gay. And then Hillary Duff comes in. Hillary Duff is like, don't say that, that's offensive. I feel like what she should have said was, don't say that, that's gay. Because it's gay to, like, criticize a shirt for, I mean, the way that it was used in the commercial. because like criticism is all, it's gay in this, in the same sense as like uh when we mean it in a bad way. It's just like if you want to be able to call somebody a clown and have that mean something, you don't get to turn around and then be like, I don't care about criticism, it just rolls off of me. If you like, you don't get to be like, I'm not affected by criticism, I'm not offended, I'm not triggered. I hate the people that are like, stop getting offended, stop getting triggered. This PC culture, a lot of those same people, like if you have this stance about criticism, it's like, don't, people shouldn't be offended, people shouldn't feel criticized. Like you don't get to then use criticism to be like, oh, it means something if I call you gay. So like, oh, like that actually, like, oh, that means that or it's like that affects you in some way. Like, of course we all use it, of course we're all affected by it. You don't get to pretend that it doesn't mean anything to you and then turn around and say turn around and then use it to like bring meaning to your life or make yourself feel better. So what I'm doing, is it that much different from that, like criticizing the criticizers or whatever? I mean, I'm not going after anybody in particular. It's just, I mean, I'm just going after like I'm not going after anything because as I already said, I don't, you can do it. I don't really care about it. I'm just, I'm outside of it, but it draws a lot of criticism when tell people I'm outside of it. So like, that's not acceptable. Because it's like, oh, you always have to be constructively criticized. Like, that's going to happen regardless, you know. Criticism just happens. But the Wisconsin fan base is pretty culty. One, like, they're like online, Twitter, Wisconsin. One serious critique that I have of them is that they, here it is. Here's my critique of them, which is that they focus on wins and losses too much. The Wisconsin fan base, they dwell on losses too much. Their focus is the win or the loss. They don't focus on a point beyond that. There's no mindset among like Wisconsin Badger fan base on Twitter that it's like, oh, we could be winning a lot. Their mindset is like, hopefully we get to the point that we're winning, because that's all that they're focused on, the win. Where it's like the most winning of programs. I feel like it's true of pretty much all the Wisconsin fan bases, like the Packers and the Brewers are pretty much a similar way. But Wisconsin, your problem is that like you have the Wisconsin Badgers and then you've got no other Division I hockey team even. Forget about football. Like even Minnesota's got like 5 Division I hockey teams. Wisconsin, not only do you only have one football team in the state, which is just like culty, or what, like how do you allow that to happen? It's not helpful to have no competition within your home base. It's like not having any brothers or sisters. Like you're only childing out here, Wisconsin fan base. And you like, okay, so I started a Twitter account, the Wisconsin State Water Aztecs. I'll give you the link. And I'm starting an online university to help Wisconsin out because you need a Wisconsin State. I know that they're like, they legislate out like Wisconsin's fucking government is gay, and they legislate it so that you can't like, there can't be a Wisconsin State or something. It's like you have to at least have a hockey team that's Division I, because that's the sport where it's just anything goes. Any weird college is Division I in hockey. How does Wisconsin only have one? I mean, I don't even know if that's... Maybe they have like Lake Superior State is probably Michigan. I don't think they have it. There's another Division I hockey, and that's such a major oversight. And like that, nobody would bring that up. Like Wisconsin, seriously, like that's an issue right there. It's a weird thing, culty thing about. But like, I mean, I'm a lifelong Wisconsin hockey fan, and I've been to more Wisconsin hockey games than even than either football games or basketball games. And like, obviously, and whatever, like the Wisconsin fan base is all crying about the loss, like complaining about the refs and the broadcast, like. Don't do that. Don't do that for the hockey game when it's already like we already got screwed by the broadcast in basketball or whatever. But the point I'm bringing up now is just that like the Wisconsin fan base, they focus too much on wins and losses. Where it's like when they lose, I feel like they dwell on the loss more than other fan bases online, or they cry about it more. But they go about things like Wisconsin fan base, or maybe it extends to the players, like the teams, the most important of the teams. It's like they're so focused on the win that they don't. It's not a reality where they just like let the wins come to them, and they're never focusing on a point beyond the wins, where it's like you're like most winningest of programs. They're not like, hopefully we win this game. Like they're focused on the win. They're just focused on like doing their thing, and then they let the wins come to them, and they're like living at a point beyond winning. It's more about setting yourself up to win, like giving yourself the most opportunities, and you're going to get lucky sometimes, you're going to get unlucky sometimes. But if you have a lot of opportunities, you'll end up winning a lot. And that's a mindset that is not focused on winning and losing. That's like the mindset of giving yourself a lot of opportunities. It's like it goes beyond winning. The rest of the world judges it by that, where they're like, well, if you didn't win, then you are for sure losers in this moment. So like the rest of the world is allowed to focus on that. But like the Wisconsin fan base, they get so bent out of shape about the right now finite frame of reference win and loss that they get all scared about like, hopefully we win this, because if we don't, that's the end of the world. And there's like no, I mean, it's they're a little bit nearsighted, but like it is too much that. And then when they do win, it's like, holy shit, we won, like being too too excited about wins, whatever. It's like, oh, and that's not supposed to happen. It's the same mindset that gets the Packers one championship per all-time great quarterback, one championship for Favre, one for Rodgers. When you could have had more, same mindset that gives the Milwaukee Bucks only one championship for Giannis or whatever, and then like they're the one seed a bunch of years and then make nothing of it. Waste opportunities because it's like, oh, we won our one championship, but we're not like so great that we're like in a mindset of being beyond the mark of winning. So it's like Wisconsin needs to focus less on winning. I'm making a point about like when you go about life, it's not really about the Badgers. It's like in life when you're walking around, you can't be focused on like, hopefully I win in this moment. You know, obviously we all know that that's true. You just have to give yourself opportunities, and you will get unlucky sometimes, you'll get lucky other times. You can't like, you just gotta let life happen, and then you will have wins. You can't be focused on like, hopefully I win in life, because that's just like put the pressure on the thing, because it like the winning and losing almost doesn't exist. It's like a fake bar. It exists like big time after the fact, like the way that people prop it up in stories and whatever, which is weird, like the way that the rest of the world perceives it, like when it's given over to critics and people that aren't you, people that are judging your work. It's very real to them, but like in reality, it's just like life is just constantly continuous and forever. So you can't be all cap about things, Wisconsin. You're being very cap about your relationship to winning and losing. Like there is a cap, or because the Wisconsin basketball team, they were a title contender this year, And I'm not going to blame, I wouldn't blame the fan base on it's not the fan base's fault that they lost the basketball game or the hockey game or anything. I don't know who you blame, but definitely I would blame Christianity because they're playing a college, they're playing High Point University, which is a very wealthy Christian university, well connected in basketball, for some reason for a mid-major basketball team. They're so wealthy that they're able to fly a ton of their fans all the way across the country from North Carolina to Portland to give themselves a home game. They're maybe one of the only mid teams in the tournament to do that. Wisconsin basketball, you did not deserve to lose that basketball game. It's just High Point. It was one of those where, as you're watching the March Madness game, you get the feeling oh, there's nothing that Wisconsin's going to be able to do. The other team is going to pull off the upset because that's just that's the way that the broadcast is broadcasting it. There's just a feeling in the air. I mean, we've seen all of that before. There's really nothing you can do if you're on the wrong side of one of these bullshit narration. Some group of people somewhere is narrating that this team will win, and there's nothing you can do. That's another point I wanted to bring up is that there's a particular animal that the God of Israel directed the Israelites to kill a bunch of to obtain a lot of its skins to carry around the most holy artifacts, to carry on the artifacts most important to God. And that animal is a badger. And so Wisconsin, God has this particular special treatment that he gives to badgers for whatever reason, where he's we're going to use their skins to carry around the pieces of the Ark of the Covenant. And the God of Israel is still around today. He's that same jerk that pulled America into the war with Iran. It's because a lot of folks like this weirdo character from the Bible, the God of Israel, who knows what that even represents or who he is. This fucking guy, this spiritual power that a lot of people worship across the entire world. He is the reason why America needs to, Israel is very special, God's chosen people, we are on their side. America is a bunch of Christians. Christians are aligned with Judaism. Christianity needs Judaism for its belief system because the book that they base their religion off of is predominantly Jewish history. And so, Christianity gets by putting their, gentrifying Judaism. By beautifying Judaism, putting their name over what the Jews already did. I mean, they're 60% of Christianity is Jewish, they're Jewish on the inside. Christianity is just forever inseparably linked to Judaism, and so America's very Christian, so they always got to defend Israel. And now we're in a war in order to appease the God of Israel because he is the best God or whatever, and he's still around today. The same guy that was commanding them to do all this shit and burning down cities that disagreed with him and that hates badgers or likes them, or was for whatever reason he's just particularly badgers. This God of Israel guy that kind of controls the world and can pull that's Trump's biggest political mistake ever, and the shittiest one, and the one that makes liberals correct in everything that they were saying about him. Is oh, this guy's going to pull us into World War III. He just wants to bomb other nations. This God of Israel is the guy that broke through and made it so that liberals are actually correct in their accusations. It's oh, he is kind of unhinged. He's just bombing Iran in a war that none of us wanted to be in, when he for years and years said, I don't like that we go into wars over there. Trump said, but now all of a sudden he's a guy that's bought and paid for because of the God of Israel. That same guy, God of Israel, despises badgers, and that basketball, he wants a bunch of them dead so their skins carry around the pieces of the Ark of the Covenant. It's in the Bible. Don't tell me that guy isn't relevant today. And it doesn't change. The Bible, it's in the Bible. That book is still just as relevant. It's the same thing. So this guy that the High Point players are all worshiping, and that this basketball player that scores a winning basket has a verse written on his shoe, like in ritualistic praise and like towards like he's doing a ritual, like an incantation or whatever, like saying the guy, I need to pay homage to this thing, this spiritual force, whatever. He's paying homage to the spiritual force that doesn't like Wisconsin. But it's not about High Point that I'm making this point. I'm just saying like the Wisconsin Badgers are cursed as long as Judaism is around. And once the age of Aquarius happens, because we're in the age of Pisces right now, which is all about Jesus. Once Christianity goes away, as popular art has already dictated, has already given us a blueprint for like that will happen. Wisconsin will be the biggest powerhouse in all of college sports once they get outside of this, like, oh, everybody saying this about the God of Israel, because they are cursed, and like not in the way that the Chicago Cubs were, not in a fun way, in a real way, in like in a way that is like, oh, you don't want to be a nation that's against the God of Israel, because then you'll be like Palestine, and you don't even get your own territory, like you get occupied by the people that worship the Israel God. Like you get shit on, and you don't get the power of narrative, where it's like Israel always wins out because they've proven themselves to have the ability to have the power of narrative better than anybody else for creating the Bible, the most important book of the world. The narratives of it are whereas like books are all about narratives, right? They're all about the story. The narratives of the most important book in the world are like for a particular people and the thing that they worship. And that makes them the winners or whatever. So I'm saying, like, what's the reason that Wisconsin loses in March Madness is because they're cursed. But obviously they've won things before. But you see how evil a religion Christianity is, that like their practitioners can just beat Wisconsin whatever in basketball whenever they want. And it really sucks because Wisconsin was like the only team that could beat Michigan, so it made March Madness shitty for everybody else. So Wisconsin, they're the only team in that region that could have beaten Arizona. Probably the only team Arizona was worried about was Wisconsin. And fucking High Point had to be selfish and fucking win, and took away a title contender. Like, if we had gotten past that game, like, I think we all know as fans of Wisconsin that they were probably like going to the title. Like, they're probably winning. Because they could have beaten anybody, and this just really, really fucking blows more than anything else that happened. And it's one of the shittiest things ever. But you're just like looking for answers, and it sucks that, of course, like somehow Christians were at the root of it, because people that have no regard for their life on earth and don't give a fuck about a basketball game. I mean, obviously they gave a fuck about that one, but they'd be like, the number one thing isn't this basketball game. It's like God. It's hating Wisconsin like the God of Israel does, hating Badgers. I don't know. It's just like the Jewish controlled media also discriminates against Wisconsin quite a bit. But that episode was that was okay, I guess. Wasn't that great, but but I mean, like, tune back in. I'll do better next time. Gotta get some guests. I didn't do it for a while because I didn't feel like it. And so there you have it. And thank you. Thank you and goodbye.